Students should never be murdered in their schools, and mass school shootings are not a problem anywhere except the U.S. And the even bigger tragedy, besides the killings themselves, is that there are clear ways that we could prevent this with gun regulations that we just haven't done yet. But these movements are nationwide, and students all across the country are speaking out because we want to make these things happen. By having common sense gun regulations, which is a hot button term but shouldn't be, because all it means is making sure that people who are going to use guns to kill people don't get guns, and only people who are going to use guns for safe reasons get them. So we want measures such as universal background checks, a ban on assault rifles, and a ban on selling guns to anyone under the age of 21.
The students that have been sitting in the school this morning, not everybody's going to agree with what you have to say, but perhaps maybe as they listen to these, and you said you had a few more planned, maybe you start to get more people interested. Any message to them sitting in the classroom right now?
Well, I certainly hope that people are convinced that this is the way we can keep us safe. But in general, all that we're trying to do is keep kids safe in schools. And we want to keep kids safe in schools whether or not they agree that that's the way that they should be kept safe. So we don't mind. We're going to help you regardless.
Our first priority currently is universal background checks to close the gun show and private sales loopholes. Those have been found to both have extremely high public support, in the 97% range in recent polls here, and also, equally importantly, they're probably the single most effective measure that you can take to reduce gun violence, and will barely ever infringe on someone who can legally own a gun. The other things that really need to happen, which I also mentioned in my speech there, we need greater funding of the ATF so that it can do its job. Currently it's underfunded, it's understaffed, it really can't do anything. Like, often it has to destroy any kind of evidence within 24 hours of getting it. It can't create a computerized database. They need to remove those regulations and possibly merge it into the FBI. We need an expansion of gun violence restraining orders so that people don't have to just stand idly by while someone they know is definitely preparing an attack, similar to how you have restraining orders against, say, approaching someone. And there's a lot of other measures that have been suggested that would probably be somewhat effective, but aren't quite as high a priority as those. The other one also is repeal of the Dickey Amendment, in order to allow the CDC to fully fund research into gun violence, into its causes, and into its prevention. That's an amendment in Congress's annual CDC funding bill that was added by a senator named Dickey. It's been around for years, even though that guy originally had it is now actually against it. Now against it. It bans the CDC from, quote, using any of its funds to advocate or promote gun control. But in practice, what this does is it bans it funding virtually all research into gun violence, into any ways to prevent it or any causes of it, which means that there's very little data on that.
I'm really glad that the town is supporting us. I'm really happy that they see us as people who can have a knowledgeable conversation about gun safety rather than just some kids who are protesting. We were nervous about how the media would portray this because we didn't want us to all seem like we just imagined that all guns could go away, but we actually have a plan on how we could save each other's lives and how the government can help us do so. I'm really glad that the mayor came out and spoke because she is a popular figurehead in the community, and I'm really happy that the rest of the press is here and more adults came out and support us. And I really hope that people take our message to heart and realize that we just want to go to school and have a safe place to learn.